Question 11. In most states, the following types of contracts are within the statute of frauds. A. Contracts for the sale of an interest in personal property. B. Contracts that can be performed within a year from the date of their formation. C. Contracts for the sale of the goods. Or D. Contracts for the sale of goods for a price of $500 or more. Let's review the question. Basically, the statute of frauds is a requirement to certain contracts that a written memorandum is signed by the party to be charged. Signing this memorandum fulfills the requirement that the contract is legally binding. Now, some of the examples of the statute of frauds are contracts in consideration of marriage. This provision covers prenuptial agreements, contracts that cannot be performed within 1 year. However, are one of the statute of frauds. However, contracts of indefinite duration do not fall under the statute of frauds, regardless of how long the performance takes. So, if the contract is more than a year, then there must be a written memorandum. However, if there's no indefinite time, then it does not fall under the statute of frauds. And here's a continuation of the list of examples of the statute of frauds. Contracts for the transfer of an interest in land. This applies not only to a contract to sell land, but also to any other contract to which land or an interest in it is disposed, such as the grants of a mortgage or an easement. Contracts by an executor of a will to pay a debt of a state with his own money. Contracts for the sale of goods totaling $500 or more. So the sale of goods must be $500 or more. It cannot be less. It must be very specific too. Contracts in which one party becomes a surety, acts as a guarantor for another party's debt or other obligation. Now those are the examples of where a statute of frauds would fit under. Let's take a look at the answer choices. A. Contracts for the sale of an interest in personal property. Based on the examples we have listed, A is incorrect because the statute of limitations is not needed for the sale of personal property. However, if it was the sale of land, then the statute of frauds would apply. Answer B. Contracts that can be performed within a year from the date of their formation. Now B is incorrect because the statute of frauds of the performance of the contract does not apply to a contract that can be performed within a year, but the contract must be where the performance cannot be performed within 1 year. So longer than a year, it must be longer than a year, but it cannot be indefinite. You guys can refer to this on the previous 2 slides, which I will show you right now, which is right over here. Contracts that cannot be performed within 1 year. In this case, answer B is incorrect because the statute of frauds does not fall under performance in 1 year. This must be performance more than a year. Answer C, contracts for the sale of the goods. Now this is incorrect because the sale of the goods must be at least $500 or more to be within the statute of frauds. So the correct answer is D, contract for the sale of goods for a price of $500 or more. Now D is correct because a contract for the sale of goods for a price of $500 or more falls within the statute of frauds.